Hey, good morning, guys. How y'all doing? This is Curtis with Track Rider Trucking. It's been been an interesting couple of days. Uh, when we got the load, I had to pick up, and that was the beginning of the interesting day. Uh, my pickup time was like 9 o'clock. Everything worked out smooth. I was able to. In fact, they had a washout on site, so that worked out for me. But once I got there and reported in, I had to go up to wash bay. Well, the wash bay apparently wasn't open, and the only ones that did it is the yard dogs. Well, the yard dog come up to me and said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take it." So I dropped it in the wash bay area, and I reported over to the shipping office, and then the shipping office told me the load wasn't ready, which I already knew because I called in advance. Uh, and they said, we talked about it. It could be that afternoon. I said, okay, fine. So there's a little service station down the hill there. So I went down there, and this is in Milan, Missouri. So went down there and parked. And little store, great place to eat. I had some biscuits and gravy. It was a little country store, and it was all right. So I parked there. Of course, I waited and waited and waited, and finally, Derek got a hold of me, the fleet manager, who was a substitute for Craig. My fleet manager had been out for a couple of days due to sickness. And he said, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "I don't know. I've called him. Nobody will answer the phone now, so I don't know what to say." So he went and gave him a call, and apparently the load wasn't going to be ready until about 5, 6 o'clock that night. So in the meantime, I'm running low on my clock. I mean, my 14 had kicked in, so I was pretty much out of time. I wasn't going to be able to go anywhere. Well, the place I was staying at is very small, so I thought, man, all these trucks are here, the bobtails, because they make you bobtail out. So I went up the hill. They called and they told me the load was ready. Went up on the hill. Trailer was sitting there on the side, and I went in and got the bills and everything, signed for everything, and got out to the truck. And of course, I was kind of wondering why the tandems were all the way to the front. And I know they pre-weighed these things to confirm their weight, but I didn't think nothing about it. So I hooked all up, got everything ready to roll, got ready to set my tandems, and my rear tandem retention bar wouldn't retract. So I said, "Oh God, here we go." So I ended up having to crawl up underneath, and sure enough, one side of it was missing the pin, the carter pin that holds the retraction bar in. And Prime has a video on this if you're interested. You'll have to look in their history or back into their, all their videos, and they have an actual class on how to repair it in the field. The problem is I don't have the pins, and I didn't have the carter pins for anything. And I've got that on my list. I'm going to try to see if Prime got it. So anyway, I'm not able to do anything. So I come up with the ingenious idea I had nothing to use, and neither did they on the site. And I had to retract them because my trailer was like at 45,000 pounds, because they had the tandems all the way to the front. So I couldn't leave without getting that set right. So what I did was I took my lock that, you have your load lock holder on the back of your truck cab, and I took the lock off of it that Prime provides. Well, you buy it, but I mean the little lock that Prime provides. I took it off there, took it underneath there, and it fits perfect. So I put it in there, locked it, got my tandems to retract, and was able to set my weight pretty close. And I just took it back off and laid the arm just laid down on top of your. And what I should have done is went ahead and wire tied it up, but I didn't. But might want to do that in consideration. You might want to secure it somehow, so in case something happens to the other side, you don't lose it. So anyway, got on down there. Of course, I only had like 45 minutes left on my clock, so I was able to go back to that service station at the bottom of the hill, and they had a slot. So I pulled in there, and I shut down. Well, then in the meantime, this means that I'm not going to make my 90 because it was scheduled for 8 o'clock yesterday morning. And I messaged them, did all the messages. Make sure you cover your butts when you're out in the field. If you come into a situation so you don't get your service back, you let your fleet manager know what's going on. Now I've heard some people have done that and still get a service back. Service pay. Don't let them bully you, man. I'm telling you guys, you stick to your guns, because that service factor's on you. It's not on them. Service factors. God, why do I keep saying that? Your service failure is not on you. It's on them. So, keep in mind that. Always remember, you CYA. I learned that in the military. Most of us veterans know, or military, active military, and veterans know you have to cover your butt every day. So, Anyway, that's all been covered. Well, I contacted them, and then I sit down and computated. I still had over 400 miles to run. Still had a fuel stop. So I gave them an estimated time, and don't be afraid to stretch that estimation a little bit. I mean, don't go crazy like 12 hours. It's only going to take you 9 hours to get there. I mean, give yourself some leeway in case something happens. So I went ahead and set my PTA, my arrival time PTA for 1,800 hours last night. So I get on I get my pin reset, take off. Everything's fine until now. We had this Qualcomm issue, or OmniTrack went crazy. So we had no way of knowing where we were going. We had no way to communicate. My messages, I couldn't even get them out. I couldn't receive any, couldn't get them out. Well, as a solo driver, they don't give you the freedom of messaging whenever, where you want to. You can't look at them, especially on your phones. On the apps, you can't see them. I can't, because it tells you you're in drive mode. It won't let you in it. So you're going along, and you don't hear them on the Qualcomm because they're not coming across, and you have no way of telling which route you're going. So I'm using a personal GPS, which I have, it's a Rad McNally, but it's a joke. To me, it was a joke. It doesn't work right unless I set it up right. And I also had to use my phone. I got the Google Maps, so I had two things going at once, because the Qualcomm was basically gone. I just disregarded it automatically. So going to the fuel point, I'm following the GPS, and it takes me into a residential area in Champaign, Illinois. Boy, oh boy, you talking about maneuvering that trailer. I had to get it maneuvered just right so I could do a turn around. I had to back, and I had to do everything in a residential area. I was pretty hot by then. So I did make it to my fuel, found it. I used my phone then, and then it took me right to it. So I'm not very impressed with this Rad McNally. I think I've got a 750, and it's a joke. I hate it. So I don't know what to do, because it just tells you go right and you're supposed to go left. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyway, I just continued to use my phone, and I drove up here to Peru, Indiana. I got here, I don't know, I think it was around 3:30 or something. So I got ahead of schedule. I ran pretty good, pretty hard to get here, and come into the front gate thinking, they're going to say, well, we don't want it because you're late. You're 12 hours late or whatever. And they were sweet as heck. I mean, the security guard lady said, no, they don't offload at night, so you're going to have to drop and hook. I said, oh, okay, cool. She said, let me check your fuel and everything and your tank. And I said, okay. And she said, now, go park it on the back road, pick you out a trailer. And I said, well, ma'am, I need to ask a question. You guys had overnight parking. And she said, yeah. So apparently I was able to park here beside one of their work shed buildings, and that's where I'm at this moment. Right now, I'm just waking up and getting around. And of course, OmniTrack just went ballistic. Well, apparently it came back online. I was in bed, and I've got all these questions coming at me because I had a problem with the Reaper that I had, or the trailer I had, also had a code failure alarm, but it was not a crucial alarm. So I was getting those messages, and when the Qualcomm finally started sending messages, because the Navigo was still offline, but the messages kept coming, and I had over 150 messages, and it was a mess. Then my fleet managers contacted me, RA's calling me, and it's just like, I didn't get to bed till about midnight last night, and I was freaking tired. I finally just called my fleet manager. I said, look, Mark was on duty, and I said, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I did everything right. I figured. And he said, yeah. He said, don't worry about it. He said, I got it all fixed up for you. So we didn't get a service failure on the load, because, and never got a message back that they contacted this place. Nobody, I was told that they would notify sales was supposed to tell the customer and that stuff. So see, you got to cover your butts, guys, I'm telling you, because they can try to stick a service failure on you in a heartbeat. So be careful with that, because I guarantee you, if I would have got a service failure for this truck would have been going to Springfield, because I won't put up with it. I mean, I just don't do that. Because it's not my fault. It was the shipper's fault for delay. I did get a great detention coming to me, supposedly. We'll see. I mean, they paid me pretty healthy additionally to the cost, so that pretty well made this load worth the load that I did go through chaotic mess, made it worth the while. A good start to a work week. Everything's doing pretty good so far with me. Last week was kind of a dull thing. I had to take time off. I had to do some. I had to get the service done on the APU, which I know that's a killer. And now I've got another service coming up on my truck itself. I'm up to almost 73,000. I've got to have an oil change, and I know I can do that at TA or something. But I got a message the other day. I had to go home to take a test, and I know it's not good to talk about. Your colon test. You know what you got to do. It's something you got to put on a stick and send it in. Well, I got a phone call day before yesterday from the VA, and I guess I've got to go in and do additional testing next a week on the 18th. So I'm going to have to go back to Springfield. I haven't told my fleet manager this yet, but I don't know what the deal is. They're going to do some additional blood work on me. So I'm hoping and praying and asking for prayers that I'm okay. I don't know. So they wouldn't discuss it over the phone, and they said we'd like you to come in as soon as possible. Well, not as soon as possible, but when you convenience. So I'm thinking it's not nothing serious like the big C, but you never know. So I got to go in I had to go in unexpectedly. I wasn't planning on coming back until after the first of the year, but I got to do this because it's got me kind of concerned. My wife is concerned, and hopefully we'll get this rectified. So I'm going to go back in probably. I'll try to get a load in on Thursday, drop a load somewhere in the Springfield area, and then I'm going to go home that evening and then go do the testing. They won't get the results back, so I'm going to turn right back around and come back in, and I know I got to go through that new COVID testing, which I have no choice. I'll have to do it anyway, so as life goes on. So hopefully I can get back on the road either Saturday or Sunday and not take too big of a hit on revenue, and then I'll be ready to do the holiday in the initiative schedule, whatever it is called. And hopefully that'll work out for me. So I've got to notify my fleet manager, and since this message thing's now working, I'm gonna let him know what's going on. So, but anyway, other than that, I got a new load. Looks like they're gonna finally let me go south. I got to go up to Fort Wayne, up by Fort Wayne, Indiana, to Woodburn, Indiana, to pick up a Dyer's ice cream loaf. My appointment's at 12:30 this afternoon, which is about 11 hours. Well, 11 hours. About 5 hours from now. I'm getting ready to roll out here in about an hour. I got to go get a washout. I'm gonna stop in Fort Wayne, Indiana, to get that done, and then I'm gonna go on up there and pick up this load at 12:30. Taking it down to McDougal, I think it is McDougal, Georgia. I'm headed down there. I got to be there by early Monday morning, 0001. So I'm hoping to get this load in, and then I get another load that'll carry out through the work week. Anyway, hopefully that'll work. Revenue came out pretty good. I ended up with 55. I think my wife said 55 or 58 for the week, this past week. But of course I had issues from the week before because I had to pay back to time because of the downtime. So the revenue wasn't, it was good. Don't get me wrong, guys. It was okay, because if I had not done that problem, or I'd been working, it had been a lot better. But I took that load out of Maryland, which I will never do again. I guarantee you that. and I lost money on that load. Basically, I was in the hole once it's all said and done with fuel costs and the frickin' tolls. Which it didn't take all the tolls out, because I guess they base that on 1 month of service, so that'll probably come back. That'll come back and haunt me either at the end of the month or next year, I'll say. So I don't know. I'm not going to do no more loads to the Northeast. It's not worth my money. If it's not a good paying load, it was good. I repowered the load to go in there to drop for the guy, and it was a good paying load. It paid well. I got that. That was fine. Problem is that I got a load out that I screwed up and took just to get out of there because of the weather's changed, and I'm not going to do that anymore. If it's not above $2, it's not worth it, guys, because of the tolls and the fuel cost. So I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not going to do it anymore, period. So I've already told my fleet manager, I said, nope, if it ain't more than $2.50 or higher, I'm not taking it. I'm not going back up there coming out. So that don't sense in even go back up there. Even though I still hit the storm once I got into Indianapolis. I told you that story before. But anyway, guys, I'm ranting now, so I don't want to hold everybody up. I thank you for subscribing. I'm gaining one more at a time. It wasn't a whole lot, 273, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. People are watching and they're commenting when they can. It's been chaotic the past couple 24 hours because of the Qualcomm people. I haven't even got to watch anybody else's video. I only talk to Lyle once in a while, and you know, we used to talk every day. Well, he got busy, I guess, yesterday because I didn't hear from him. Probably need to call him and check on him. And we'll see. I hope everything worked out for Jenna, Eric and Jenna, the driverslineup.com. I haven't watched any of your all video, but I hope your doctor's appointment went well and everything, and you're fine. And you guys, I know you're getting ready to get back on the road again. But anyway, guys, hey, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you stay safe out here in this mess. Always remember that we keep continuing to drive and strive for perfection. And, you know, just remember, just keep covering your butts, people. That's crucial right now with all the stuff that's going on. And I got a question. Has anybody heard that Prime got involved when they finally get the so-called vaccines done? Are we going to be involved in doing the shipping as well? I don't know if they dedicated a certain company to do all this. If anybody knows something that I don't know, I ain't heard nothing, but I just kind of curious, because when that starts hitting the fan, that's going to be pretty good loads. Not to say gain money on people's health. That's not what I'm trying to say. So don't read into it. I just wondered, because that's a good deal. I'd like to help. I'd love to be involved with that. I'm kind of upset because I guess they're going to get the Reese across America, and nobody even let me know. I'm a veteran. I would have loved to have been involved with that. I know it's mostly a team thing, but that would have been fun to have been involved with that, you know. But you know, I'm a veteran. I would have loved to have done that. That would have made my day. But understandably, I understand it doesn't always happen to everybody. So, but anyway, guys, sorry for the rant. I'll let y'all be and finish up my coffee and get ready to roll, and hopefully be down in Georgia by tomorrow afternoon. And I hope y'all be safe and take care of yourself. Okay? So we'll keep in touch. Bye now.